their mic. Okay, let's go ahead and start with reciting Namo Tassa and the three refuges for those who like. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi
Dhammang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi
Sanghang saranang gacchami,
Tatiyampi
Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
So everyone there should turn off their mic. Okay, welcome friends to this Wednesday evening Dhamma discussion and meditation practice. So I hope you all got the mailing I sent out on Monday with the attachment for this evening's reading. Again, these readings are taking from the new revised edition of the Way to Peace and Happiness, now called the magnificent, the masterful teachings of Gautama Buddha. Okay, so these two sutras are about developing the mind and in its ways of reacting to stimuli, as well as its ways of relating to the Dhamma and practicing the Dhamma. So Buddha talks about these three types of persons found in the world. He says, what are these three types of persons found in the world? There is one with a mind like an open sore. And there's another second person with a mind like lightning. And a third person with a mind like a diamond. So what are these analogies referring to? The person with a mind like an open sore, this person is one who is irascible and very irritable. If anything is said to them, even a trifling matter, they will lose their temper and get angry and upset. They resent it and displays anger, hatred, and sulkiness. Just as a festering sore, if struck by a stick or clod, will discharge matter and pus all the more, even so is a certain person short-tempered and displays anger, hatred, and sulkiness. Such a person is said to have a mind like an open sore. And the second person, with a mind like lightning, this is a person who understands according to reality. This is the suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Like a man with good eyesight can see objects in the darkness of night by a flash of lightning. Even so, a person with a mind like lightning understands the Four Noble Truths according to reality. This person is said to have a mind like lightning. And what nature is a person with a mind like a diamond? This person is one who, after the destruction of the defilements, the 10 fetters, has reached the state of an arahant. They come to know directly by themselves in this very life the heart's liberation and the liberation by wisdom. And having realized it, abides therein. Just as there is nothing, be it a gem or a rock, that a diamond cannot cut, even so a certain person who has that quick of insight after the destruction of the 10 fetters attain the supreme enlightenment. They have the mind like the diamond. So these 3 types of persons are found in the world. Of course, that's in the relationship to the Dhamma and how their mind, is able to comprehend the diamond, comprehend the Dhamma. Now, having said that much, I think that's pretty, self-explanatory. Those 3 types of mind. Of course, the mind like lightning is, when a person first hears the Dhamma, just hearing one sutta or parts of a sutta, or maybe just with a few meditations, might realize the entering the stream. So that flash of insight is like a flash of lightning that gives a glimpse of no self, and a person can realize that and attain the state of entering the stream, then that's a person with the mind like lightning, or a person that can at least understand, have some deep insights rather quickly when they start practicing the Dhamma. And others may, take a longer time. And then there's ones, and we can read these examples also in the suttas too, where there were some people who just on hearing a couple of suttas from the Buddha attained arahantship, and others who had attained the stream entry or once returning. And then there are others who stayed with the Buddha their whole life and didn't even attain any stage. And all of this would have been, of course, due to the past karmic accumulations as well. Does anybody have any questions about that? Those 3 types of mind, or any other, Dhamma questions before we go on to the second sutta?
Hi, Bhante. I have a question regarding someone who practices the Dhamma for their whole life, but doesn't necessarily attain a stage of enlightenment. Is that, I guess like my question about that is, what would happen to them in their next life?
Well, there's a category of a person called a Dhamma striver, who's a person who hasn't attained stream entry yet, but they're practicing the Dhamma is the best way they can. And at the time of death, they might attain stream entry. Or whatever you accumulate in this lifetime in terms of levels of mindfulness, concentration, wisdom, and of course, practicing the precepts where, hopefully you're not committing a lot of heavy negative karma, but especially by breaking any of the 5 precepts. And even though you don't reach even, let's say, stream entry in this life, I mean, you could reach it at the time of death if you have accumulated enough understanding and wisdom that there are instances of people at the time of death attaining stream entry. But if you didn't do that, then at least in the next life, you would probably be able to reconnect with the Dhamma at a young age, or without too much difficulty. You might be born in favorable conditions or in a family which provides the environment for you to come into contact with the Dhamma at a young age and therefore start practicing again. So that is probably a good, a good compromise, for people that think, they're not going to attain at least stream entry before death. Don't fret too much, because if you continue to practice up until the time you die, or whatever level you're able to, and you continue keeping up your meditation practice, then there is a very good chance that that accumulated Dhamma understanding and merits will create the situation in the next life where you would be able to come to the Dhamma very quickly. I always think about my own life, how I was born up in this country, and then if you've read my autobiography, you know what kind of a life I was leading up until the time I was 25. But then, that journey took me to India, where I was, destined to meet the Dhamma, and got hooked on the Dhamma at a fairly young age, at 25, and became a monk right away. So, that shows that probably I had, done some type of Dhamma practice in the past in order to get that much, so quickly into it, and that it has continued, my whole life, and getting better. So anyway, that's just one example.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bhante, may I ask you, where in India exactly did you find what you are talking about?
Actually, it was in Nepal. So I was in
Yeah.
Nepal, and I took a Tibetan meditation course. And during that course, I had this powerful experience that just turned my mind like 180 degrees around, and never looked back. So, whatever a person wants to call it in that case, that was just 2 weeks of a meditation course. And before that, I'd been strung out on, drugs and other things like that, and just wandering the hippie trail. But so just hearing the Dhamma in a clear way that I was hearing it, in this meditation course, just it like unplugged a secret little vault of Dhamma inside that I might have accumulated in a previous life, and it all came back very, quickly, you might say. So that was Nepal, but I was in India. I came down to India, and then there's so many courses going on in India, and meeting monks. So then I studied yoga too, and I was my mind was a sponge, just absorbing all.
So where in India, Bhante? I'm just curious. Where?
Well, anywhere in India. India is anywhere you go in India, almost there's spirituality of some kind or another. But I mentioned Buddha Gaya, and then
Right.
Anyway, I went to Sri Lanka, and then of course I went to the yoga ashram in Pondicherry. So those two places are the places where I, really, like my yoga practice really got off in Pondicherry. And then in Sri Lanka mostly is where I did my intensive meditation. Anyway, so let's go on to this next sutta. It's a little bit different. It's about the 4 thoroughbred horses. And there's different renditions of this sutta. And the one that I copied and sent out in the mailing is about one of, a horse trainer who has 4 horses. And it is said that the first horse, just when the master, comes to the stable and they see the shadow of the goad of the master, that one horse, becomes alert and said, "Oh, I'm ready for training now. The master has come. I'm ready for training. Let me do my training." But the other 3 kind of just, munching on their oats or something, and they don't see the shadow of the goad, and it's only when the trainer touches the hair of the horse with the goad, that then the horse, gets alert and said, "Oh, let me get ready for the training now." And the other 2, keep on munching their oats or whatever. And then the third type is when the trainer, pricks the kind of skin of the horse, and then he gets alerted and, "Oh, let me get ready for my training now." And the fourth one, hasn't been alerted yet. And only when the trainer, jabs him in the ribs with the point of the goad does the horse kind of, wake up and realize it's time to do the training. Now, there's another story I like, another rendition of this same sutta, which talks about the 4 horses, the work horses in a barn. So a farmer has a house on a hill and a barn is down below. And the farmer comes out in the early morning to get ready for the work, and the screen door on the farmer's house slams, and it's about 100 meters down the hill to the stable, and one of the horses says, "Oh, my master is coming today." He gets up, and the other 3 keep on sleeping.
I'm in the middle of.
And then only when the farmer gets down and opens.
Okay, bye.
Please turn off your mutes. Muted, please.
Okay.
When the farmer opens the squeak
I'm at the to call me.
door, that's the second horse kind of
But it's 1 hour.
you keep on sleeping.
You forgot.
When the farmer goes into the main pillar of the barn where all the chains and the goads are hanging, and he rattles the chains, the third horse, wakes up and, "Oh, let me get ready now." And the fourth one keeps on sleeping. And only then the farmer, plunges his goad into the horse's ribs, and only then he wakes up. Anyway, so this is in regard to practicing the Dhamma. And as again, the Buddha gives this analogy to a person of the 4 good persons, 4 thoroughbred persons in the world. What for? There's a man who hears it said in such a village or a town, there's someone has died, in some other village, somebody's died. And then he says, "Well, yeah, death could happen to me too. Let me motivate my practice more. Let me, get in more Dhamma practice. Let me really start, practicing meditation on a more serious level, to hopefully to purify his mind more, or to accumulate the merits that we mentioned that at the time of death, he would have made more progress." But then there's the other 3 don't, react to that news about somebody dying in some other, town or city or state. And only when you only when a kinsman, maybe a relative, has died. Only then they might go, oh, a relative, maybe I have those genes. I don't know. Maybe I should start practicing, a little bit more seriously now. But the other two, don't even react to that. Then the third person, only when somebody in their family, the immediate family gets sick, then they might start thinking, oh, they picked up some germs. Maybe I'll get, some germs. Maybe I, and die, and maybe I better start practicing. And then the fourth person waits until they themselves get stricken with an illness, a serious illness, and then they might think, oh my gosh, I might well die, maybe I better start practicing meditation to accumulate a little bit more merit, so that the future, maybe I can attain stream entry before I die, or maybe at the time of death, or if not, at least in the next life, I'll have a good karma to, encounter the Dhamma again and be able to carry on from that level. So those are the four types of persons. Now, I usually, when I'm explaining this, I like to give the recent example of COVID. Okay, let's say, when COVID first started happening in China, and we heard about it in this country. Oh, there's a disease in China now, and a lot of people are getting ill, and even politicians or Donald Trump called it, oh, that's a Chinese virus, right? And this, so it's not going to come over here. We have too many good things, and it's not going to come here. So they didn't worry about it. They didn't start wearing masks. They're keeping the distance, right? But then a month or two later, the first cases started appearing, I think, in Washington State, right? So now it's appearing in this country. And still people say, well, it's only in Washington State. It's not going to come, over to the East Coast or somewhere like that. So still people are reluctant to wear masks or, do keeping distances or these other types of precautions. And then finally it did come over to this country, and people in the cities, more people were getting ill, but some people were still like, no, I'm not going to wear a mask. We're not going to get vaccinated. There weren't no vaccinations in the beginning, but let's say they were still reluctant to wear a mask or worry about it, right? But then people in their own family started dying, and then only then maybe maybe I should wear a mask now. So it's like that, people in relationship to the practice of Dhamma. When the life is going well, people kind of get lazy and they let their meditation practice go. And then only when their mind starts getting more upset or, they start, doing, creating unwholesome habits or getting lazy, and only then, I better start meditating again. So, we can see that in ourselves in terms of our relationship to the practice of the Dhamma. But, the Dhamma, you shouldn't wait until something happens to practice the Dhamma. The Dhamma is not necessarily a cure for anything. We should see it as a preventive. It prevents us. Now, of course, you could cure some unhealthy addictions or practicing, the precepts and meditating just to get some peace of mind, for example. But we shouldn't let our mind and daily life situation deteriorate to that point where I better start practicing meditation again. It has to be seen with equal importance, like you would brush your teeth every day or take a bath every day or wash your hands every day in order to, stay clean. So the meditation is the daily cleaning of our mind. whether you do some, concentration practice or tranquility practice where you calm your mind, or you develop some mindfulness, or you practice metta to overcome any ill will thoughts toward the people. So that daily practice of meditation, that's the way we really have to see the meditation. And people can, make time for that. Even though you make time to take a bath and brush your teeth, you make time for it, right? Why do you make time for it? Because your parents taught you from a young age to do that. So unfortunately, these day and age in this country, most parents don't, teach their kids or talk to their kids about meditation. And then, most people hear about meditation only, after they're in their 20s or 30s or even older than that. And by that time, the habits are such deeply ingrained that it's harder for them to overcome. Anyway, these are the, those attitudes toward the meditation in our Dharma practice. So we should, ask ourselves, well, what kind of a person or category do you fit into? Of course, all of you that are coming and listening to this program, no doubt you see the importance of practice and learning the Dhamma. But, for some of you, you might only meditate on Wednesday nights during this program, but, I try to encourage you to, practice during the week and practice eminence. So, is there any other, let's see if there's anything in the chat box came up concerning this. Not really a question. Does anybody have any other questions?
Bhante?
Yeah, a question about some other topic too. Dhamma question. Oh, actually, there was somebody. I forgot now.
Yes, Bhante.
Wait, let me, Frank. I remember there was a question sent in by one of you on an email concerning that picture that I sent out in the email. So, how many of you saw that photo that I came on with in that email I sent out on Monday? Showed somebody sitting on a rock on a mountaintop, looking down on a city below. I think Nisanka can relate to that photo because it was taken in Rio, I think, when he was there. And so they question how somebody with that awareness of looking down on that detached awareness, looking down on the people down below just running around like, doing their thing, caught up in, various unwholesome endeavors and just, living their lives without the Dhamma. So if that was somebody who meditates doesn't look down on these kind of people, but it's just the mind when it develops this detached awareness, it knows it still can relate what is, it's not making judgments. It's reality, right? If people are running around shooting guns and getting drunk and going around naked on the beach trying to impress and elicit other people and all kind of things, right? So, you know, it's not a judgment, that's facts. People do that. And, that's just building up more of, and creating conditions for a lot of, pain and suffering. So there's not judgments that we're making about, ignorant people, because there are ignorant people, according to the Dhamma, and there are wise persons. Even the Buddha said that himself. Anyway, so, but it's a state of equanimity when you develop that level of detached awareness, where you're just observing, but you're watching your own body and mind. You're detached from even the crazy kind of thoughts in your mind that are coming and going, or the various pains. You develop that equanimity and realizing, okay, these things are there. But you don't, cling or identify with them. And
Cause and effect, right, Bhante? Cause and effect.
Basically, everything is cause and effect. And that's what the practice of Dhamma is, that whenever something happens to us, we should say, what helped to cause this? Did I tell a lie and then somebody found out about it and now it's calling me a liar? Or, okay, yeah, I did tell a lie. Or steal something, or any number of things. Or maybe, the example you're talking, and maybe you think you're not using harsh speech, but the other person you're talking to maybe interprets it that way and gets offended, and then you're wondering, why are they getting offended? And so sometimes we can't even look clearly at our own, what we ourselves are doing or saying, because we're too personally invested in ourselves to be able to clearly see our own actions and the effects of our own actions. But that's how we learn, and that's the Buddha's training, was that whenever you're about to say or do or think anything, you should first question: is what I'm about to say, do, or think, is it going to bring trouble or difficulties to me in the future, to me or others, or both? And if you see that it might, then you should refrain from doing that particular thought, speech, or actions. And if you see it's not going to be harmful or be beneficial, then you can consider the right time to do it.
Well, that's great, but being distant from reality and saying that it's reality is kind of a contradiction. But with upekkha and comes compassion. And compassion, you got to have compassion for yourself so that you're stable in the middle, in the center, of which there is no self. And therefore, why is that compassion there? Because we evolved compassion, over millions of years.
Yeah, but compassion for yourself doesn't say, "Oh, go ahead and do that." Go ahead and tell that lie. You have compassion. Oh, I don't want to cause myself any trouble. No, that wouldn't be compassion.
Yeah. So the
just ignoring things, let you do whatever you want to create more suffering for yourself. That's not compassion.
I'm not going to
Compassion means you want to remove the kind of
argue about other
going to create more suffering for yourself and others.
beings, and I have compassion for them because I'm a human being too. That's all, and I have equanimity.
But sometimes compassion isn't you know, what do you call idiot compassion? I mean, it's like the woman who wants to save all the cats in the neighborhood, and she doesn't have the means to properly care for them, but she just brings all these stray cats into her house, doesn't have the means to feed them properly or clean them, and they wind up dirtying the whole house and getting sick in their own excrement because their litter boxes were never clean. And somebody has to call the animal rescue people to come and arrest that lady for cruelty to animals because she thought she was being compassionate. But, you know, that's a misguided compassion.
Yeah, she's using the wrong word. Evidently, it's completely wrong view, you know, and delusional. I'm talking about compassion. I'm talking about karuna, okay, which at what I've found out, like being in society these last few years since COVID, is, you know, the problem is, you know, quite subtle, but it's part of one got to remember that, you know, you're still developing. It's about development, like you said, you know, that we're talking about tonight. So that's an ongoing thing. Things change, you know. We got the four testaments of reality. The first one being that everything is impermanent, but that means that it changes. According to the Dhamma, the way I understand it now is that it's not just everything's impermanent, it's that everything changes. So that sati basically is changes into wisdom through vipassana samatha practice, for example.
Yes, well, I think we're going to bring this
Thank you, Bhante.
this
Thank you for
discussion in so we can
Yeah.
have a good meditation period. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Let us continue.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Bhante.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and take a short break and come back and do a few stretches and then have our meditation practice. Okay? We'll see you back in a few minutes. I think the same as the battery was dead or something. No light coming.
Really? Okay, ask if anyone can hear you. I just unmuted you.
No, but
No,
this normally
it's
has to
definitely.
be.
Oh,
There, then take this out. This will pick up on this.
Yes, I can hear you.
okay.
Can you still hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My other mic didn't work easily.
Charge that.
Okay, friends, then stand straight, relax your arms and shoulders. Gently close your eyes, feel your feet pressing the floor. Try to feel the outline of the standing body. And again, some deep, slow breathing. Taking 2 or 3 seconds to breathe in, holding the air in the lungs for 2 or 3 seconds. Slowly breathing out, feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs. Take a few more deep, slow breaths like that, developing this mindfulness. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to combine this breathing with these movements. So on the next in breath, raise the arms over the head, interlock the fingers, look up at the hands, straighten the arms, stretch upwards. On the out breath, turn the palms down, touch the top of your head. Next in breath, palms up, straighten the arms. Stretch the head back, stretch up, bend backwards a little bit, to the arch in the lower spine. Out breath, touch the top of the head. Third time, hold the upward stretch longer, bend back a little more. Feel the sensation. Release the fingers. Out breath, back, arms back to the sides. Close the eyes. Feel the increased body sensation, especially in the hands or fingers. Feel the clothing touching the skin. Just remember standing. Letting go of your thoughts. mind centered in the body. On the next in-breath, push up on the toes while raising the arms over the head in this way, facing the hands toward each other and stretch. Out breath, come back down. In breath, up. Use the breath to help lift up the body. Out. Third time, in breath. Stretch. Out. Close the eye. Keep feeling the body with the outline of the body in the mind's eye. Feel all the different sensations. Remember standing. Next we'll do knee bending. On the in-breath, you can push up on the toes, lift the arms up front for balance. On the out-breath, bend the knees, lower down, balancing on the balls of the feet. In-breath, push. Out. Out breath, relax. The increased heartbeat. Feel pulsations. Please, whoever is making that loud sighing sound, please mute your computer.
Whoever's making that side noise, like that, please be respectful and mute your mic. Thank you.
And next we'll do second bending. On the in-breath, raise both arms up over the head. Keep your fingers and arms straight. On the out-breath, bend over the right side as far as you comfortably can. Feel the stretch in the side. breath, lift up. And the other side, out breath. And continue alternating sides with the breathing. And out breath, lower both arms. Feeling the body. Keep that outline of the body in the mind's eye. Feeling the pulsations growing, touching the skin. Itchy, prickly sensation, aches or pain. Remember standing. Now spread the legs apart, about 3 feet, wider the better. Holding the arms out at the sides, twisting from side to side. Breathe in. On the out breath, twist to the right. Keep your eyes focused on the hand going back. In breath back to the front. Let the feet turn with the body and go to the other side. In breath front. Keep alternating sides with the breathing. Lower the arms. Feel each foot pressing the floor. Now place the hands together at the chest. In breath, hands over the head. The out breath, hands to the chest, bend the knees, lower down. Very stretching the hips and knees. In breath, all the way up. Out. Out breath. Feel the whole body. Each foot pressing the floor. Hands touching the legs. Clothing touching the skin. Feel the heart beating, the breathing. Now we'll do the forward and backward bending. Be careful with the back bend, especially lifting up from a back bend. The rush of energy, or the shaking of the body. Just be careful. Just let the hands touch the front of your legs. Breathe in. And the out breath, bend forward. Keep the head lifted up, looking out straight ahead. Let the hands come to your knees first time. Keep the legs straight, flatten the spine. In breath, lift up. Move the hands around under the buttocks for support. Let the head go back. On the out breath, gently bend backwards. Keep your eyes open. In the in breath, carefully lift up. On the next out breath, again bend forward. Let your hands come down below the knees to keep your head up, legs straight. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs. In breath up. Again, back bend, out breath. In breath. On the third time, let the hands come down as far as you can toward your feet. And hold that position, holding on to your ankles and feet. Hold that longer, feel the stretch in the back of the legs, also in the lower spine. Small bones in the lower spine stretch out. And lift up. And once more, the back bend. Be careful. And breath lift up. On the out breath, just relax. Those sensations, vibrations, pulsation. Feel the outline of the body exactly as it is. Foot pressing the floor, hands touching the legs, clothing touching the skin. Subtle vibrations, life force vibration. Okay, now bring your legs back together. This one last simple exercise, the head turning from right to left, keeping the chin lifted up level with the floor. On the in-breath, turn the head to the right. Back over your right shoulder. Turn your eyes further to the right. See something behind you. On the out breath, turn the head 180 degrees back to the left. Look over the left shoulder. In breath, back to the right. Out breath, left. In right. Out left. In breath, let the head stop in the center. Close the eyes, feel the whole body. Feel or imagine the whole body has been washed and bathed with healing life force energy. Feel or imagine the energy permeating, saturating, suffusing all the cells of the body, mind, nervous system. Allowing the awareness to rest in the present moment. Okay, let's come back to our seats, get ready for the meditation. Okay, friends, so sit comfortable in your sitting posture. Start to align your back, the spine, and the back of your head in a straight line. Just feel your head balanced on top, chin lifted up level with the floor. Relax the shoulders. Just rest the attention on your eyes. Try to feel the outline of the sitting body. And again, taking a few deep, slow breaths that we did in the yoga session. 2 to 3 seconds to bring the air from the lower lung up to the top of the lungs. Feel the expansion of the chest. Hold the air in the lungs for 2 seconds. And slowly breathe out. Just take a few more breaths like that, cultivating this mindfulness. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we'll count the breaths from 1 to 10 to try to develop a more continuous concentration on the breathing. I'll do the counting for you, just try to follow that in your mind. With the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. Hold the breath in for 1 or 2 seconds. With the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feeling the last bit of air go out of the lung. Next in breath 2. Out breath 2. In 3. Out 3. In 4. 4, in 5, out 5, in 6, out 6, in 7, out 7, in 8, out 8, in 9, out 9, in 10, out 10. Now just continue the counting so that your breathing return to its uncontrolled, short, irregular rhythm. Continue to observe, to feel. Keep your attention focused in the middle of the body. Feel the residual expanding and contracting sensation. And keep your mind feeling the sensations in the clothing, rubbing the skin on your stomach, rib cage, your chest. It expands and contracts. Feel the brief pauses between the breath. Try to feel like being a scientist sitting in the laboratory looking down through a microscope, observing an experiment. Looking down the microscope of concentrated awareness. Feel the expanding and contracting sensation. Just knowing when the breath is coming in. And knowing when the breath is going out. And know it by feeling. Helps you to stay focused, make these brief mental reminders. In sitting, out, sitting, the ongoing, continuous present moment. It's sitting, breathing body. In sitting, out, sitting. Just remember that much. It's not much to remember. Turn up the power of the mental microscope. Notice subtler detail. Notice the 4 phases of each breath cycle. Expanding in breath, brief pause. Contracting out breath, brief pause. In sitting, out, sitting. Just over and over and over and over again. In sitting. Out, sitting. Breath by breath, moment by moment. Same time, be alert for thoughts sneaking up to the mind to steal your attention. Letting the thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Just keep the sensations of the breathing body in front of the awareness. Helps you to concentrate. You try counting your breaths from 1 to 10 again by yourself. See if you make it to 10 without the mind getting lost. The mind gets lost. Start the counting again at 1. Take some deeper breaths. Feel breathing easier. I can notice how each breath is different, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, sometimes you feel it breathing in the abdomen, sometimes you feel it more in the rib cage, your upper chest. It's always changing. Noticing those details helps you develop concentration, awareness. Notice how the pause between the breaths will be longer or shorter. Catch the mind lost in thoughts, recognize it as lost. Take a deep breath, bring the mind back into the body. Back in sitting, out, sitting. Breath by breath, moment by moment. Turning up the power of the mental microscope. Notice more and subtler sensation in the breathing body. Alert for other sensations coming and going in or around the breathing. Being alert for subtler thoughts moving through the back of the mind. And urges that arise. urge to move, urge to think. Holding that outline of the body, the mind's eye. Feeling the breathing in the center of that body. And all around it, other sensations coming and going. Itchy sensations, prickly sensations, aches or pain. Clothing touching the skin. All of those can be seen in the background of the aware, concentrated mind. The mind alert, not drifting off. In sitting, out, sitting. The mind is calm and focused in the body, tuning into the flow of impermanence. So many different sensations arising and vanishing all over the body. Breathing is still there in the center, coming and going. At the same time, you can feel sensations in your hands, feet, head, arms. Noticing subtler thoughts moving through the back of the mind. You have good detached, onlooking awareness, this breathing body, start to become like an empty house. Nobody home to answer the calls, knocking on the doors and windows. There's a sensitive microphone in the house that knows but doesn't know. A silent present moment awareness. Breathing in, sitting. Breathing out, sitting. So many sensations coming and going. Sounds coming and going. Thoughts, ideas come and go. Thoughts of I, me, or mine come and go. These are all just a continuous flow of impermanence of the body-mind phenomenon. 5 aggregates, coming and going, arising and vanishing. Just underneath all of that impermanence and change, pain, mental chaos, it's the parallel dimension of the now, a natural present moment awareness. It's not affected by any of the comings and goings. It's not dominated by the thoughts of I, me, or mine. Now let us shift our attention to the last part of the meditation, cultivating and sending out thoughts of metta, thoughts of friendliness, kindness, compassion to our own body and mind, to all other beings. Just try to continue to just observe your own breathing body, just looking upon your own breathing body with the eye of friendliness and compassion, just cultivating these following thoughts. May I be well, peaceful, and wise, free from attachments and greed, anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, fear, pride, and ignorance. May I be free from the pains and sufferings of body and mind brought about by such unskillful thought, speech, and action. I also have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. May I be able to continue to deepen my understanding of the Dhamma and the practice of meditation to help free the mind from confusion and suffering. May I be well, peaceful, and wise. In the same way, expanding these thoughts of metta outward, thinking, may my parents, other family members, good friends, people that I see every day in the workplace, the markets, may all of them be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance. Free from the pain and sorrow and sufferings of body and mind brought about by such unskillful thought, speech, and action. May they also have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. If they haven't already, may they also have the opportunity to hear the teachings of the Dhamma, to learn and practice meditation, to help free their minds from confusion and suffering. May they be well, peaceful, and wise. Now, in a more general way, try to pay attention to your out breaths, or if you can feel your heart beating. And with each out breath or heartbeat, just imagine these waves of metta thoughts going further outward across the fields and the valleys to the towns and the cities. These thoughts of friendliness, kindness, best wishing. And with each out breath or heartbeat, imagine your pulse, just imagine these waves of expanding metta vibrations, heat radiating off of a wood stove, going out through the towns and the cities, across the whole state, eventually across the whole country, across the ocean, through all the continent, and then eventually enveloping the whole earth. These waves of metta vibration, with these thoughts, may all living beings, wherever they might be, the rich or the poor, weak or the strong, visible or invisible, living near or far, may all living beings be well, happy, and peaceful, free from greed, hatred, fear, and ignorance, free from the pains and sufferings of body and mind brought about by such unskillful thought, speech, and action, through the karmic interreactions with others. May all living beings have the patience, strength, mindfulness, and wisdom to meet and overcome all difficulties in life. May all beings have the opportunity to hear the teachings of the Dhamma, to learn and practice meditation, to help free the minds from confusion and suffering. May all beings be able to live peacefully and harmoniously together, understanding the ultimate interconnectedness and interdependence of all things. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. May all beings be well, peaceful, and wise. It's like a mantra reverberating throughout space. Well, peaceful, and wise. Dukkha pata chani dukkha bhaya pata chani bhaya soka pata chani soka ontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. In this way may all beings live with mindfulness and wisdom. Thus spoke the Buddha. Now I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu 3 times slowly. Do the chanting on a long out breath. Feel those vibrations in the body and mind. Take a deep in breath. Sadhu. Now place your hands at the edge of your knees. Take one more deep breath as you breathe in, stretch your head back. Pull the hands on the knees to arch your spine. Lift the head up on an in-breath. On the out-breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. Lift the chin up level on an in-breath. Breathe out. Put a smile on your face. Okay, friends, so this brings our evening meditation to an end. Try to keep up your meditation practice during the week, especially practicing the M&Ms every hour, to pause for a minute, take a few deep breaths, bring the mind back to the present moment of the body, just letting go of the mad push to the future. Perhaps we'll see you again next week. So in the meantime, be well, be safe, be mindful, be wise. All right?
Thank you, Bhante.
You're all welcome.
Thiruvan Saranam.
Buddhaya Mahat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Day keeps dukkha away.
I wish.